Hey guys, it's me, Elay Understood. Welcome to my show. This is my first live show on the Facebook feed, and I hope that it's picking up my voice. I'm not sure how loud I'm supposed to talk. Maybe if I did a practice one. But what's the point in doing a practice one? Because the minute you do a practice one, it's gonna go live. So, it's like testing, testing, one, two, three. Am I loud enough to stop going live? Just to hear playback. People are gonna be like, "Look, are you live or not? You keep popping in and out." So, I've got music playing in the background. This Linkin Park live. I think it was the concert live in Texas. Singing "Belong." It actually sounds good. So if you happen to hear some music in the background, if you happen to, that's what I'm listening to. FYE. But anyways, what I titled this today is "I Don't Want to Be a Teacher." Parentheses, like the kind for little bitty kids, like the kind where you had to talk like Smeagol. You remember Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings, Smeagol, because you had to be like using funny voices all the time, like constantly energy's gotta be on high, and you have to be like, let's sing our ABCs, ABCD. I'm like, oh, really? You have to do extra quirky stuff to get their attention. And it's a big difference from having to do that because you have to teach them something opposed to having high volume of energy for like a YouTube or a Facebook, or if you're performing a concert. There's two different things because these people, like if you're in a concert, you have to always have high volumes of energy because you're getting paid for that. A teacher is getting paid to have high volumes of energy to teach the little children, but it's still different because a lot of those kids are there and they don't want to be there. And second of all, as a teacher, what was I going to say outside of that? They don't want to be there, number one, most of them. And number two, it's really something important. You have to really make sure they get those fundamentals drilled into their head, opposed to a concert. I mean, these people, when you go to a concert, they made up their mind that they want to be there. It's not like someone's forcing them to be there 9 times out of 10 to see some type of performance. They want to be there, they work hard for the money, and they're going to spend it to see you. So it is expected, but it's not like they're going to a concert and it's imperative that they learn something. It's a big difference. You go to a movie, you want to be entertained. It's not like you're really trying to learn too much from it. You just want to be entertained. So that's one of the reasons I chose not to be a teacher. I thought about being one when I was in 8th grade. I actually used to volunteer my time in the first grade class. I used to help this teacher out for about an hour and a half or so, maybe longer, maybe 2 hours. It felt like 3 hours, but I doubt it was that long. I know it wasn't 3 hours, but after school, after 8th grade, every day I would go over there. I was a part of a program. I would help the teacher, and grade papers, pass out treats, talk to the kids. I actually felt like a teacher, even though I wasn't doing every single thing she was doing. And I thought about it, get my feet wet. It was nice, but at the same time, me just volunteering for that little bit of time for that year, I think I did it for 1 year. I was drained and I was like down and depressed because I'm like, I don't want to be teaching the same stuff over and over year after year. Even though the students' faces will all be different. Let's hope they all pass. But even though everybody's faces will be different, the curriculum for me will be the same. And it was kind of depressing because it's like year after year I'm coming to the same building, teaching the same stuff, looking at the same classroom. I'm not getting any younger. These kids' futures are bright. They have their whole life ahead of me, and I'm still stuck at the same job for 10 years doing the same thing over and over. Christmas programs, parent-teacher conferences. That is like purgatory for me. So I'm like, well, no way in H will I be teaching a class at least that young. Now, if I were to be a teacher, I still have the desire, but it would be not for elementary students because they're still young. Even though you can implant a seed of some positivity in their life for it to grow later on. I don't have time to wait for that. And middle school, it would be a fun base to be an entertainer. So like if you're, a singer or a well-known person, middle school would be the perfect platform to go in and sing because you can inspire them more that way because you built and made a name for yourself. Or if you're a good entertainment that will teach them a lesson through something more modern, then that platform would be for you if you were in middle school. I would not want to be a middle school teacher, but I would definitely love to come in and perform for them, like do something to keep them engaged, to keep their minds open to something because they have a better sense of self. Not saying elementary students don't, but I mean it's like you're kind of preaching to yourself if you're trying to be serious with them. And then, as far as high school goes, if I had the decision, it would not be ninth graders because they're still new, they're babies, they're just still coming from the area of mommy take care of me, teacher help me, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. They're still immature. But 10th grade, I would I would probably do it on a volunteer basis. I would probably do it like a student aid level, but I wouldn't be a committed full-time 10th grade teacher because I still feel the same way. Although in 10th grade you will have 60% of the students who finally wake up and realize that their career is important and that time is now to really make a change. It's really not going to sit in until they get in 11th grade because in 11th grade a lot of them probably gonna be pregnant. A lot of them are gonna be in their first real relationship. A lot of them gonna have more freedom. A lot of them gonna have opportunities to really go to these dances. It's rare that a few 10th and 9th and 10th graders get invited to prom and prom and stuff. But it's usually more or less when you're in the 11th because the girls have developed by then. Setting their ways of being certain ways. So they're more sound in mind per se. I wouldn't say in judgment, but in mind. So at least 11th and 12th graders, I would feel more comfortable teaching them because they're about to be grown. They're about to be 18. If some of them are now, I did go to high school with someone who graduated. I think he was maybe 19 or 20, but he wasn't slow or nothing. It's just weird. Life happened. I believe that's what happened. Life happened. So he ended up graduating really older. But I mean, if life happened, life happens. I'm just happy he graduated with us. It's a good testimony, honestly. And I don't think anybody in our grade actually looked down on him for that neither. They just really kind of looked up to him because he went to school, and to us he was old. But sometimes life get in the way, and I do commend him for not going to an alternative school, because of being embarrassed. So if anybody ever is going to high school right now and life happens and you so happen to be in high school and you're 19, don't worry about it. We had somebody in our class like that too. It's really no big deal. But back to what I was saying, I would rather teach 11th and 12th grade because they're more grown, close to being able to make decisions. At 18 you can be emancipated from your parents. At 18 you can vote. At 18 you can go to the army. At 18 you can really get a job. You have a lot of freedom. So I would rather talk to 11th and 8th graders because that's when and where life really begins. And if you really want to get on the ball, you really can talk to them because not only are they scared, they don't know who to talk to sometimes. If they really are serious, especially if you're the class clown, but you really realize on the inside that you got to get your stuff together, but you don't know who to talk to because you don't want people to see that serious side of you. I would be that type of person or counselor to talk to those types of people and say, yo, this is what you got to do. I know how it is. I can help you. And if you have questions about college, if you're not ready to go to college, if you really feel you're not ready to go to college, I would encourage you not to go because sometimes you need a break. And sometimes I don't think parents really understand that. at least a certain generation of parents. We do have a new generation of parents that's coming up where they understand, they get it. You need a break from college. You need a break from school before you go right into college. But I'm talking about the older generation, like our grandparents' parents. Stuff like that. They want you to go straight to college, but they don't realize you need that break in between. I mean, you just went to school all your life, and now you're telling me you have to do 4 more years. They're saying it was 4 more years, but you don't realize what I just went through. Not only is my life completely over because I graduated, and some of these kids I grew up with since day 1 to 12th grade, it's just, it's a life-changing thing. It's like, well, mom, dad, I'm not going to be able to see my friends anymore because half of them are leaving. They've got jobs. It's not going to be the same. I think it's kind of a shell shock. Hi, thank you for watching my show. Welcome. I see you. Thank you, viewer. I love you. It's actually my husband. I love him so much. How you doing, babe? Thanks for watching my show. Yeah, so what I was saying is what I was saying is, so you have to give them time. You really have to give them time to grasp that, because their life is kind of over. That chapter of their life is over. So let them breathe. Some of them want to go to work before they go straight to college. I really encourage people at that time when they're in 11th and 8th grade, 11th and 12th grade, to encourage them to do that. Because I know thank you. I know when I graduated, I didn't want to go straight to college. I wanted to go to work. I knew that if I took a year off, everything would be better. I would have a decent time to say goodbye to people I didn't know. I could have that final summer to say, this is what I want to do, or let's hang out one final time. I would have had 1 more year to get closure, to say goodbye to my teachers, and then move on to college. But it didn't happen that way. And I know a lot of people grew up in that same boat. If they just had that time to actually do what they wanted to do and just work or take a break from everything, I think our life would have rolled on, as far as on the educational scale, a little bit more better. So that's why I feel so important about wanting to help the people who are in 12th grade and 11th grade and above. That's just where my niche is. I know I'm saying it wrong. Niche, it's pronounced some other way, but who cares? Tomato, tomato. For those who will see this later. So my goal and my target audience is 11th grade, 12th grade, and the college arena. Because even though you are in college, the freshman year, half of them walking around like a chicken with their head cut off because they weren't ready to be there to begin with. So when I write my books, my heart is mainly towards those people, because it's like I can feel their pain. They're just going through the motions to pacify their parents or their legal guardians' feelings. But I say this, when you watch this video, if you're still in that situation, just be brave. Don't worry about the financial aid. Just be happy you're just a freshman or a sophomore and you're able to make the decision to take a break from college before all those financial aid bills build up. So if you still feel like you're in that situation in life where you want to stop college and take a break, I suggest that you do it before you continue to ruin, I wouldn't say ruin, but really alter your life in such of a situation where you wish you had just followed your heart. It's not really life or death. It's college, people. Okay, it's college. Take a break when you need it. That's why they do have programs and guidance counselors who are there to recommend, hey, take a time off, take a semester off, take a year off, because you do have a life. You do have a life outside of this now. So I'm very thankful that at a young age I realized, really young, 8th grade, who my target audience was and still is. My heart is for the 11th graders, 12th graders, and college students. And I don't think that'll ever change as far as being a teacher. the guidance counselor or some type of advisor or something to come back into the schools or colleges. That's where I want to be at. I have written a couple children's books, because it comes easy to me. So that's good. So I'll produce those. But that's just where I stand right there. And if anybody have any questions or a certain type of job topic that you want me to talk about or whatever, just let me know. Once again, my name is LA. It is LA Understood, but you can just call me LA. And that's my theory on why I don't want to be a teacher for that age bracket. However, I do like little children. It's fun to be around them. I love them. They're adorable. But as far as being in a teaching setting, I would have to pass on that. I don't mind watching them because that's a whole different type of ball game. Being a teacher and watching the child and just interacting with them on that level is totally different. So thank you for watching my first live Facebook TV show. Have a good day. Once again, my name is Elay Understood. Check me out on YouTube, WordPress, Spreadshirt. I do t-shirts. Blogger. I have that channel on there. It's called Blog for Cereal, and that one is targeted more to the cartoony style of writing. I have drawings and stuff on there too, so if you want to check it out. WordPress is another writer's blog, but that's more serious. It is for my 11th graders on up into the adulthood era, because I do target some serious issues that went on in my life and so forth. So once again, thank you so much. I'm Elay Understood. Have a great day. Bye.